Split Worries. You are live, ladies and gentlemen. It's Steve Ukraine, Larry Young. We're missing Mark Espinoza, but he's checked in.
Look at this. Look at it.
Kind of like now. There he is.
Within moments.
He wanted to make sure we weren't wasting his time.
There's a setting in my sounds. It's like deep in my sounds. It's like system sound input microphone Yeti stereo microphone, and in that I have to unmute it. I don't know why it happens every once in a while.
Is this because you're using a PC? Are you using a PC?
I am using a PC.
What is this?
I'm the John Hodgman of audio inputs. He was the actor who played PC.
Chuck Kilbert says hi.
Hi,
yes,
Chuck.
we all know that. And Justin Long played the Mac. Right?
I don't know if Steve knew that, though.
What? I knew that.
Of course he
those
did.
Those are the worst Apple commercials of all time. Of course I know those.
The best.
You know, you forget I worked for Apple for a little bit, so indirectly.
So did Chris Sagasag. That's what that means. Buh.
Yeah.
Boo.
Yeah, I used to work for Apple too. I'm just making that up.
I'm just going to throw it out there. I watched Logan Lucky last night.
Excellent.
Very good.
Walker and I watched the first 23 minutes. And then
what?
Well, Mimi returned from she was putting on Tech Walk. You guys know about this? Down in, they have this thing. I think it started in Boston or New York, some hoity-toity East Coast place. And they all get together and walk and do tech stuff. I don't know. So they were like, why is there not one in Silicon Valley? That doesn't make any sense. So Mimi was like, I'll do it because that's Mimi in a nutshell. And so they done at the Shoreline Amphitheater in Mountain View. They did it last night.
Oh, nice. That's crazy.
So Walker and I thought we were going to have enough time to get away with a whole movie.
A full movie?
Yeah, but his football thing went long, and then we started gabbing, and then it took a minute for his dinner, and then we sat down, and we got to the bit where they all set up the complications.
I like it.
I can't get over that cast, though. Boy, that's just a bananas good cast.
I mean, I don't even want to spoil it, but at the end, an FBI agent shows up, and I'm like, is that who I think it is?
Famous guy.
Hillary Swank, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She just shows up in the last 5 minutes. She's like, we're going to crack this case. And I was like, fucking Hillary Swank.
Yeah. Academy Award winner Hillary Swank. She's in the trailer.
Is she?
Funny.
Okay.
Yeah. For like 2 seconds. But no, while you guys were watching Lucky Logan, I was watching... I started watching all these crazy Italian Dirty Harry movies.
Interesting.
Okay.
What are they called?
The first one I watched was The Tough Ones.
Okay.
But it follows the same premise as Dirty Harry, where he's like, if he just does what he wants to do, all the crimes will stop. But he doesn't, because they can't let him just be reckless. But dude, there is a scene in it. The only reason I'm bringing this up, there is a scene in it at the end. Honestly, the bad guy kills 50 civilians, like easily, like just ran, like the biggest mass murder of all time. You're just like, and this guy is still like escaping and like randomly shooting Uzis on like the street corners, and people are just falling over. It's pretty insane. Anyway, but I was gonna watch Lucky Logan again, but I figured I knew what was gonna happen. It's gonna take about a week for Larry to watch it, and then Mark will probably watch it twice before then. So I was like, all right, I got some time till next time I view it again.
That's such a shame, because that's true. If it was the weekend, we can kill 3 or 4 movies on the weekend. It's just, if it's something all 3 of us want to watch, the fucking planets have to align, right? Like, so I end up watching these weird TV shows that I can binge at lunchtime that no one's going to care about. So I'm in the middle of this show called I Hate Susie right now. It's by Billy Piper, who played Rose Tyler in Doctor Who.
Yeah.
and it's basically a fictionalized weirdo multiverse version of what would have happened to her. Like it starts out that she plays a character that was super famous singer when she was 15, and then sort of becomes not relevant in her mid 30s.
Huh.
And then her phone gets hacked, and there's all these risque photos of her, and everyone's interested in her again. And so then it becomes kind of like this weird, cute girl, Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
good.
it's very British, and it's a cool lunchtime show.
Wait a second. The one girl who's in it. Oh, she's not. Okay.
No.
The one of the characters in the cast, Leela Farzad, looks like a girl that was in another movie I started watching. Have you heard about this like movie called Onyx the Futurious? Futurious? Have you heard about this?
No.
Oh my god! Don't even like. Just look up the poster. It's some guy who I think back in the day.
Oh,
remember,
I have seen this.
You've seen the trailer or the?
I've seen the
poster?
trailer, but
Yeah,
yes.
I started watching it. Anyway, it's like trauma level cheese.
Yeah.
Though, this is new.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, October.
Yeah.
It says 2023. Onyx
I'm
the
collecting-
Fortuitous and the Talisman of
I'm
Souls.
collecting movie posters. Hold on, okay. So this is the one poster I want to show you from the Tough Ones.
Yeah, dude. That
How
looks
cool is that poster?
That's awesome.
Love it.
Wait, that's not it.
I think that's like a version of it. Or
No,
one of the
that's a
names
different.
of it.
I think that's a different movie
Oh man.
because the Tough Ones is Lenzi, Umberto Lenzi, the director. Anyway,
This is what I'm gonna say if somebody has a mild disagreement from forever now.
I sold apples back in college.
Yeah, like that probably had something to do with something we were talking about, but I love it out of
You
any kind
said
of sense.
you said Chris worked at Apple,
Oh,
Yes.
right.
and
Chris
he said
probably
I
worked
did,
at Apple.
and then
You sold
I
apples
did. I
back
sold
in
apples.
college. See, but that's better if you're like, no, that's not the right movie poster. Me, I don't know. I sold apples back in college.
But that is a good poster. I do like that poster. All right, what was the second one? Are you going to show us Onyx the Fortuitous or whatever?
Yes.
Just
Yes.
it's Amazon Prime. Just watch watch 10 minutes of it, and you're just like, oh, I understand what's going on here.
So
That's
this
awesome.
totally looks like they're doing a rip in such a serious way that you can take it seriously. Like no one's gonna get offended.
I mean, I don't know who the guy is, but
I don't know.
I started digging. Went down a rabbit hole last night. He hosts a bunch of like YouTube shows that talks about stuff.
Uh-huh. Well, that's a pretty legit movie poster.
Yeah, and it's a legit movie. I mean, it's made legit. Anyway, it's on Amazon. I'll let you guys watch it and see what you think.
Onyx
Okay.
the Fortuitous.
So I was confusing that with another movie I saw called Destroy All Neighbors.
Oh, that looks cool.
It's all like that Shutter.
Yeah.
They're all like that same. I can't think of what his name is. I think is the Onyx the Fortuitous is like Andrew Bowser or something like that. Bowser. He worked for The Nerdist.
Oh, okay.
Who's the
Next
one that got canceled?
Oh,
Chris Hardwick.
Yeah, that was The Nerdist, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is like the guy that survived from The Nerdist.
The Purge.
Yeah.
Oh, the non-Chris Hardwick guy.
Yeah, and I guess he was one of the creative guys or something like that.
Did you ever read up on that? Man, was that unseemly.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
He started, there was the guy who did all the special effects for Star Wars and Battlestar Galactica was this guy named John Dykstra. And so people like my age are like, John Dykstra's awesome. And so he apparently, and this is just what I read on the websites, right? I mean,
Yeah.
he apparently just loves Star Wars and Battlestar Galactica so much that he seeks out Dykstra's daughter and starts dating her just so he can have John Dykstra as his boyfriend-in-law.
Yes. Oh,
And-
Chloe Dykstra.
And that seems a little unseemly to me.
Yeah.
Seems
I
like
mean,
it.
if you meet up with somebody and they're related to somebody that works in the same thing that you do, I mean, what are you going to do, right?
Yeah, that seems
Yeah.
like
But
praying.
like just going, oh, I like Cheerios. I must go and marry somebody named Kellogg. It's I don't know. It's not that cool.
Does it work that way? That's pretty good.
Yeah. Frank Kellogg.
Yeah. Anyway, Cheerios, I guess, is General Mills, right? So that's
Yes.
even,
And that's owned by
even-
some giant conglomerate.
I assume
now.
they all know each other.
I don't
So-
think Kellogg has any military service like the General.
Captain Crunch. What are you gonna say, Steve?
No, I was gonna say I did a. Well, I'm glad you guys rectified what I was seeing on the internet the other night, or else I thought I was losing my mind while I was
All
trying to find the Superman pictures.
All the
that
animals
were
getting.
Oh,
eaten in
yeah.
fields.
I wish you could have seen my face as I'm searching through what I normally search through and seeing what I was seeing and having no comprehension of why. It was pretty spectacular. I was like, what happened? And it's not something that I could even like go to Lauren and be like, what's going on that I'm seeing all this stuff? So thank you for
It's
clarifying.
the beginning of weaponization of meme culture,
Yes,
where people are
100%.
like trolling the alt-right with these things that are happening, and then
They're trolling everyone.
yeah,
I
and then
mean-
the president goes online and goes on a debate and says it's happening. I've seen photos, and it's like, well,
That, you know what? In a whole fucking debate of idiocy, that was the one that I really couldn't believe. It's like this guy's running for president, the fucking leader of the fucking free world, the planet of smart monkeys. And his response to something is, well, not that I have this data. I've collected the brightest minds on the planet. I'm just a regular Joe. You know, you can have a beer with me, but, you know, I'm running things and everything's fine. Instead of saying anything like that, he goes, I saw it on the TV, so it has to be true. Are you kidding me? He might as well have just said that he saw a UFO. It
would have landed better.
I couldn't
Yeah.
believe it, man.
the aliens told me so.
Well, as I tell you, I don't follow any of that stuff, so I had no idea. So
Yeah.
as I'm searching for,
Superman leaks.
there were Superman leaks, and I was trying to find them, and every other picture is
a dead dog, dead
people like in the backyard grilling animals, and I was like, what the fuck is going? And I'm talking like not like one picture, I'm talking like hundreds of pictures, and then there's videos, and then there's TikTok, and I'm just like, and then you guys clarify what's going on. So I thought, I'm like, okay, thank you. And then as I'm digging through all that stuff, then it transitions to other stuff. Then that's when I found the Avengers stuff, which I thought was pretty good that I posted to you guys last night. So
Mark,
it's like,
if we were smart, we should have said right away, like, hey, Steve, don't you feel like you're in the first 10 minutes of a zombie movie? And then start like pretending our cats were like dead.
yeah, like missing. I had no idea.
What have you seen, Steve?
I got data to back that up.
We could have messed him up.
Trust me. It was. I saw a couple videos I don't think I ever should have ever seen. That's all I'll say.
I'm so trained. The second he said that, they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. I picked up my phone next to my chair and I opened up Facebook and I went, they're eating the pets in all caps. And I still wasn't the first guy to say that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was that, and then Steve had the opposite experience. Like,
yeah, where I'm actually.
Why does this man hate children?
Steve's like they are eating the cats and the dogs.
I'm like, listen, I don't know what video he saw and where, but dude, like between the picture of Matthew Lillard, technically as so Lillard is like the reason I started hunting was Matthew
Shaggy.
Lillard, they said what is going to be Plastic Man. So
Oh,
all
wait,
of a sudden,
who is
Matthew Lillard,
the voice of Shaggy?
I guess so.
Oh, the guy who played him. Also,
The guy who
alive.
played him. The actor.
Well, no, yeah, I mean, but he's.
He is the
cool
voice
thing
of
about
Shaggy.
him
That's right. He is the voice of Shaggy
He's
now.
just Shaggy now, which I think is cool because he
Yeah,
played him
that's
in live action a couple of times, but then they just hired him to do the voice.
Yeah.
In
So
all the
as
new
yeah,
cartoons. So
so as I
love
was so one of the places I go was talking about how they're looking at all all like those giant like James Gunn like DC photos that he takes with like the big groups of people, and they're all like, that's who this person is, that's who this person is, that's who this person is, that's who this person is. And then they were like, oh, by the way, if you guys haven't noticed, there's Matthew Lillard, and that's because he's playing Plastic Man. And it was just like a one-off. And then the thread kind of went, and then someone brought another thread back that was like, wait. Who's playing Plastic Man?
Right.
No one.
Can we go back to that?
Right.
Please?
And then it blew up. And that's when I was starting to explore. And then I went to another site where I was looking. And then it was like, I was like, what the fuck is this person doing eating a cat? Like, what am I like? Why is like, what is going on? And it would be like, you want to watch an MPEG of that? And it would, or, and I'd be like, what is this? So I'd scroll down, and then I'd find some more stuff movie related, and then it would be like more of that, and it'd be like, man, I don't know, it was just like crazy Trollville. I don't know, it was just nuts, and who knows where it's taking place. All I will say is it's on the internet, which a lot of stuff is. But
yeah, people are crazy. The thing I thought is how funny was how horrified you were last night. You're like, I've seen things I shouldn't have seen, and I'm like, Steve, why do you keep scrolling? Well, because end up in a place like that and go, hey,
he's crawling through the sewer because he found a $20 bone at once.
You know why? Because I found someone that leaked the entire premise and, in theory, the structural story around Avengers Doomsday. Because that's the problem, is that's what's in there, and it's normally never that shit. It's just like that was. I also never, and apologies, it's cursing, but I also never dive into the political stuff. So I never look in those forums or any of those areas. So
you're the Andy Dufresne of Marvel news.
Exactly.
Thank you for crawling through a mile of shit.
Yes, but anyway, it was pretty spectacular. But like I said, I think the Marvel one is pretty cool.
I see that completely happening. I said last night, I want to see that movie right now.
Yeah.
Did you want to like read that to the kids, or
like a brief synopsis?
I don't know how to. I'll leave it to you, Larry. I'll let you do it. You're more of the writer. You could summarize it well.
Well, let me pull it up. Where I don't even know where we are anymore here. Let's see.
Karmatage flashback. Doctor Strange meets Tony Stark, who has escaped imprisonment from the Nine Rings due to Rhodes figuring out where he was.
Well, I would perform it.
Oh.
I got to the end. I want to see this right now. Yeah, the whole thing. Like, I know, Mark. When I was reading that, the first thing I thought was, they better fucking give you some money, pal.
Does this universe have Tony Stark and then dead?
But it's Reed. Yeah. It's Reed asking Peter Parker that, which is awesome.
No,
yeah. Anyway.
But
Mr. Stark.
What I did like about it, though, is it does hit some like general theme, like not general, but like Phoenix Force. Like it's like I thought that's pretty cool. We know Strange is still signed on for a couple more movies, so it makes sense that he's more of the feature, a prominent feature. And then same with Scarlet. I think Elizabeth Olsen is still scheduled for one more movie, but who knows with the Disney stuff anymore. Anyway, I thought it was all pretty cool. And then I like how it ends with just like, okay, all of these are, I'm summarizing it completely where I'm not giving away anything, but they're like, everything goes to shit, and then everyone ends up there, and then now we can start Secret Wars.
You should. I'm trying to cut and paste it and put it in the Facebook at least for the kids to read.
Oh, nice, smart.
And it's not working for some reason.
No,
so
it's deeply coded.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway,
it's a Doctor Strange story, right?
Yes,
mainly, but woven in between that is all the cool shit that we want to see.
Yeah. It's basically like RDJ does everything he can to take out everybody in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I like that they kind of have a cool explanation for why Tony Stark is Doctor Doom. And the explanation is, well, he kind of isn't.
Right.
And I'm like, that's pretty Marvel.
But
I'll give him that one.
My favorite line in the entire thing, where is it? Was oh yeah. It's talking about the Phoenix Force, and then it's like the Phoenix already killed the Kangs who were attempting a similar move, but Doom was able to subvert that. Like one line.
Right.
And that's exactly what we've always said. It's like, oh, Kang, oh yeah, we took care of that. Like,
Oh yeah, that was all straight.
Like
I still like the idea that Ant-Man thinks that he did it. Like, oh yeah,
right.
I stopped that guy. Don't worry.
Right, and there you go. See, there's the thing. You do the Phoenix Force line, like whoever you have playing the Phoenix Force or whoever that is, saying that like, yes, all the the blah 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 of Kangs was destroyed, and then you have Scott Lang saying the next line, oh yeah, I beat him with the ants and stuff. Like you add like
oh, we're fine on that
line, comedy line. That's a Marvel movie right there. That's like as perfect as you could get it. Anyway,
I just love how they're going to introduce the concept of Phoenix Force before they really do the X-Men, and you're going to be like, wait, what?
The what now?
Yeah,
like they don't even have a Jean Grey cast, and they already have the Phoenix Force.
Well, like here's the thing.
Kind of cool though, in a way.
Like, do you even make it maybe it's a voice? Do you know what I mean? Like,
maybe
it's
totally
sure, just some kind of CG energy cloud or some crap.
Power.
But that's kind of neat because then when it takes over Jean, you're like, oh, okay, I get how it could be Dark Phoenix, right?
Right. Yeah. And then the other thing I read, but I think it's hit. The other thing I read that is also on normal internet was that their Wolverine is an unrecastable role as of right now, meaning they will not introduce another person playing Wolverine even when they reintroduce X-Men.
Till he's 90.
Oh, till he's dead. Till he's dead.
He's 90.
Yeah. So that was the other.
I mean, they already got Cavill, so it's fine.
It's not that it's unrecastable. It's that, like, hey man, you want Hugh? He's gonna keep doing it, I guess.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, and
Let's
just
go.
give him. Just make sure he gets 8 months in there so he can do the new Pirates of Panzan or whatever.
Then there's that one movie where fucking Hugh's 73. He just can't do it anymore. And the Sentinel comes up and fire blasts him, and they show the skeleton there, but they cut and the fingers are still kind of moving. And then his regenerated skin comes up and he fucking looks like Henry Cavill.
Exactly.
It's the easiest thing in the world.
Oh, funny.
Yeah. Or then we get like the article I was reading about it was comparing it to like Connery when they got Connery to come back to do Bond, the one Bond. It's like, and then everyone's like, oh man, you could have probably squeezed another Bond out of Connery at that point. And they didn't. But it's like Hugh Jackman. It's like, oh, we're going to squeeze Wolverine out of you no matter how many times we have to, even if it means we're dangling like every musical you've ever wanted to perform in, as the next film. So,
yeah. Oh, look at this. So Chuck Gilbert gives us.
Oh, yeah. I hit it with the star.
Official.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell that is.
Yeah, no, I think that's what he was talking about. Sadly, it was not. That's not what I saw, which is scary. But
look, there's the old fucknuts McNulty. Here, I gotta tell you, man. At least 3 times a day since you wrote that on Facebook, me and my son say that to each other. It's mostly in the car, which I don't know what that means. But we'll be driving down the street on the way to school or back for football or something, and my kid will just turn to me and go, hey, you have a good day? I'm like, yeah, it's pretty good. Not much going on. Talk to your mother a little. Oh, fuck nuts McNulty. What's he up to? And I'll drive off the road because it's one of those things you kind of know is coming and don't expect it from where it's coming from. Yeah, I don't know. And it's just some dumb thing Kieran wrote on Facebook last week. It just really stuck in our family. I love it. So nice job. All right.
Good job. Good.
All right. And Mark, I have one thing for you before you run away. You got 3 minutes.
Yes.
James Earl Jones, favorite James Earl Jones role?
Sneakers.
Sneakers?
No,
But seriously.
Good question. Huh? Conan? I mean, I don't know. He's okay in that.
I mean, he's pretty great in Conan.
He's just okay. Wow.
That's my favorite movie that he's in.
Yeah,
but I still like him in Hunt for Red October. Like that's a guy I'll take as Jack Ryan's boss. Wendell, what's his name, does a great job in the TV show too. You totally get it.
I wrote down a bunch just to give you. So obviously we know he's the voice of Vader and he's the voice of Mufasa, which I think are like, he's in Sandlot. I think it's like Mr. Myrtle or something like that in Sandlot. He's the narrator in the Stallone Judge Dredd movie. People didn't know that.
Is he?
Yeah, he's uncredited, but he is the voice.
Huh.
All right, so
how did they figure that out? If he's uncredited,
I think it's on his Wiki. I think it's on his Wikipedia.
And also,
it's not like his voice
James
is
Earl Jones.
distinctive, Steve.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
So Sneakers, King Jaffe Joffer.
Oh, that's not bad. Coming to America.
Yeah,
My son works.
Which he plays twice in 1988 and 2021. That's pretty crazy if you think about it.
I haven't seen the sequel yet.
Watch it. You'll enjoy it. All right. Here's the other thing I didn't know. Well, Thulsa Doom. I didn't know he was in Doctor Strangelove. I completely missed that.
Oh.
And
Is
then
he one of the like politicians around?
Yeah, he's like a lieutenant. And then I mean, I know he's in Bingo Long because I love that movie. If you've ever seen Bingo Long and the traveling, I can't think of what the whole Motor City, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And then he's Slopagus from Alan Quartermain.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Have you ever seen that
movie? Yes.
Well,
Sharon Stone? No.
Sharon
Stone? Or is that the other one?
No, Sharon Stone, Richard Chamberlain. I love that movie. So when I was going to say which is my favorite role, it's him and Alan Quartermain. But doesn't that fit?
I always got Alan Quartermain and Doc Savage confused because they sucked bad so equally on HBO at the same time.
Yes. Wait, what was the Chuck Norris one that I'm thinking of with Sidney?
Oh, no, with Lou Gossett Jr., Firewalker.
Lou Gossett Jr.
Firewalker.
Oh, who's the woman though? Is that Sharon Stone? Am I getting Sharon Stone confused?
Firewalker? I don't think it's. It could be. She's in a lot of those movies where you're just like, is Sharon Stone in that? Nope. Melody Anderson.
Melody.
What movie is that? Larry just woke up.
Firewalker. Firewalker?
Oh my God. She is fucking amazing. I love her.
Yeah. That's Flash Gordon's girl.
Yeah. If you go to her internet movie database, like you will just see she's in fucking everything. She's like that Asian guy henchman in the 80s action movies.
Yeah, what's his
name? Like in everything. But because she's just a cute girl, you put her in a brunette wig and a short skirt, and she looks like a completely different person than like her blonde hair tied back in some execu babe thing with a camisole under it and a suitcase going to She-Hulk or whatever, you know? Like she's an animal.
Al Leong is who you're naming. The bald, long hair with the beard.
The guy wanted to shock Mel's nuts and Lethal Weapon.
Yes.
Well, all right, gentlemen. I'm sorry I have to run out.
All right, Mark. Thanks for hanging out with us. Sorry, we battled.
Train well.
Work.
Stay out of trouble, man.
Stay numb.
Yeah. That's so funny. So, do you have, Larry, a favorite James Earl Jones?
I did. I said it. He's I can't remember. his name.
Hunt for Red October. Admiral Greer. Yes.
Jim Greer.
Yeah.
I love that character. I think that character's cool. I think he just does a great job.
Is he in? That's Hunt for Red October. Is that also Clear and Present? He's in Clear and Present Danger too, right?
Yes.
And Patriot Games, or not all three? Because
he's only in the. I don't know if he's in Hunt for Red October. Actually, he's in the Harrison Ford ones, right?
Yeah. Let's look it up. Movie character Admiral Greer.
We'll be lucky to live through this.
Patriot Games.
Yeah, it's the Harrison Ford ones.
Hunt for Red October, Clear and Present Danger. You are correct. Films. Yep, those three. Okay. Oh, interesting.
Well, he's great.
Yeah, he is. Oh, interesting. Sum of all fears. That's right. He gets shot.
Cancer.
Does he? Oh, cancer. That's right. But does he get shot? Why do I feel like
Probably.
he gets shot?
I don't know.
Sagas,
thought
help us
Harrison
out here. Is it? Does he get shot in it, or does it?
Harrison
Right.
Ford is getting frantic.
Anyway, well, they're saying according to the character's Wikipedia, James Greer, he was actually in Sum of All Fears, which is that Ben Affleck one.
Uh huh.
He's an amalgam. There's two characters in it that in the book, there's another character that's an amalgam. No shooting. Yep, just cancer. That's what I thought. Okay. All right. Why do I feel like he got shot? Maybe I'm thinking of something else. Anyway, that's cool.
Agreed.
Yeah. Between the
Cancer bullets.
Yeah. Between the James Earl Jones and the John Cassidy thing, it's been a lot of like showing my two girls. Like, first off, they knew that he was the voice of Vader. So that was good. And I was like, oh, okay, well, he did the voice of Vader. But then I was like, yeah, but he's been in like 120 movies. And he's like, you know, I had to explain to them all the other things that he was in and all that stuff. And then I was like, and this is who he looks like. And then Harper was immediately like, oh, I know who that is. And I was like, oh, that's cool.
I saw some Simpsons joke or something and drew him just
in the clouds.
Yeah, and he's saying this is CNN, like that's the thing everybody knows him for. But do you know who Jim Wright is? The political commentator. There's a thing called Stone Kettle Station, and he writes these big polemics, and they're super interesting to read. He's a really smart guy, but sometimes it reads a little like homework, you know.
Okay.
So I was like, I can't wait to see what he says about James Earl Jones. And he wrote this thing that was like, you know, everybody's going to have their favorite role, but mine is when he played himself in Big Bang Theory.
Oh, right. Yeah. And I forget that. Yeah.
I never kept track of that show. I think I've seen like 3 of them on planes. And I'm like, yeah, that's a wonderful diversion while I'm doing nothing on this plane. But I wouldn't keep track of that because it's like, you know, it's like every conversation you have at a comic book store explained for your parents.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
So like we're kind of not the audience for that show.
Oh,
when you said this, I'm like, all right, I'll watch that instead of something else at lunch. And man, that was a great episode. They really played against expectations, and
then he doesn't he ding dong ditch like Carrie Fisher at the end? Or something?
He went completely in on the joke, and it's really he's in on it for everything, and to the point they get Carrie Fisher.
Yeah, who I believe I heard this week, which is probably true, that they had never met.
Yeah, until shooting that.
And I mean, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
It's also pretty crazy to think that from the original, it's Harrison and Hamill. That's it.
Oh, of the main cast?
Yeah, because they're all
Anthony Daniels.
I mean, Anthony Daniels. You know what? That's
give
not
it
fair.
to him. But yeah, after that, it's a short list, right?
Yeah, it's crazy because Baker's dead. Chewbacca, Mayhew's dead. Yeah. Prowse is dead. Pretty sure Prowse is dead.
Yes.
James Earl Jones, now the voice. Carrie Fisher.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's
sad. I mean, everybody's dying, man.
Yeah. What I always tell my girls, because whenever we talk about it, it's always like it goes down the rabbit hole of like everyone's dying conversation, and I'm always like, but look at all these new movies we have to. I don't mean new movies, but like look at all these things we have to watch now that you've never seen. You know? Oh, what did Gilbert say at the bottom there? Does anyone know? Oh,
yeah, I was just looking. He was in cause of death not revealed, and he was admitted to intensive care, but so that just doesn't sound good.
Yeah.
And then
great guy.
His sister did say something like, you know,
didn't you say something like he might have had a stroke or something like that? I think that.
I mean, it seems that way. Because the one thing I did read, she said we all had a time to go over and say goodbye to him. So that it seems like, yeah, it's just sad. Whatever it is, it's sad.
Yeah, very talented. drew some pretty
Super
spectacular
nice
books.
guy. He was a super nice guy.
Yeah, it was always very nice when we met him. I mean, he re-signed a book. He re-signed a page that I had bought from him prior to.
Oh, yeah?
I realized he never. I had a page and he didn't sign the top. He never put his name on the top of the comic page. And I guess why would you?
Yeah.
Because it would just be the title of the book and like what page it is and what number.
Uh-huh.
But then I was like, oh, would you mind like signing your name on top? And he's like, oh yeah, I'll do that. So
Cool.
nice when I met him that way. Anyway, but very sad.
I have a Chaikin page, the splash page to Cody Starbuck #1.
That's
and
crazy.
it's signed 3 times. And because that was kind of a thing, right? That like when I bought it, it was signed twice. And so
so then you got it. You got to get it signed.
Well, I'm going to get it signed. And I told him, and he's like, yeah, I don't know. This happens every once in a while. People just like, I end up signing the same page a couple of times because somebody just wants to know that I signed it for them. And I'm like, oh, that's what's going on here.
That's so cool. Well, you know what? That's always that was always the thing that I learned in like, if you have someone sign something to you, it's a change of demeanor. I'll say this mostly for like athletes and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So when you go meet an athlete, like everyone's like hanging over the banister, like hanging their jerseys, like, please sign my jersey, please sign my jersey. And a lot of those people like are resellers and all that stuff. Yeah, but the minute you say like, hey, can you sign this like to Steve?
Yeah, to Dave or Steve. Yeah.
The minute you say that, they're immediately like, oh, you're a fan. Right. Like, you're like, there's like that. And that would always be like my experience with like when we would meet all like, I would never ask for autographs, but the girls would. And I would always say, hey, if you ask them for something to sign, ask them to sign it to you. So they know it's for you. And they would, you would see like the kids would be in line and
I bet they kind of relax, right? They're like, oh, I can take a minute because this is going to a cool place.
Right, exactly. Like they'd sign, and then like one of my daughters would walk over there and she'd be like, "Can you sign it to Harper?" And then there's to Harper. Am I spelling that right? And it'd be like dialogue, not like 1,000 autographs in an hour. But anyway,
well, Steve, did you have that experience at San Diego this year, signing your own?
I did. I signed a couple books.
What's that book again called, and how can you get it?
You can. I know you can get it on Dork on dorkcourt.com. Oh. Is it dorkcourt.com?
It is .com. Oh, look.
Oh, and you should have a couple copies.
Oh, look.
There you go.
Wait, have you not seen this? You know what? I thought that the Ernie Hudson picture was just going to be a joke the three of us would enjoy.
People like it.
Every single person I talked to about that book at San Diego was like,
well,
tell me the Ernie Hudson story.
Yeah, just your blurb on it. Like, it's like,
yeah, Ernie Hudson not included.
Yes, that's just like so perfect. So,
thank you.
Yes. Well, as I was telling you and Mark and commiserating a little bit ago, like I've started 4 articles that I can't get. I'm a third through 4 of them that but I'm gonna push through. I have to give you one by tomorrow. Let
me ask you a question. Is that just the world? Because most of the people I talk to now are sort of stuck. Everybody's kind of holding their breath, I think, about what's going on before November.
Oh.
And then or is it that you have a waiting audience now and you don't want to disappoint your
I'm George R.R. Martin. No matter what I do, it's going to be bad.
Right, I'm just not going to finish.
Right? No. It's what? It's more of, it's just juggling it in your what you're trying to do. Like I have a day job, and then I have another job, which is I'm also dad Uber for 2 children that run around the different places. So then it's like, all right, well, I got to write this between this window of time and this window of time. And then I'm also like, a lot of times, whatever I'm writing about, I like to watch. So I'm like watching it. And then I'm also like, there's a lot of factors, but I just got to do it. That like Mark and you gave me the best. Just do it. Like, shut up, just write, and I'll just do that, and then, fix it in post. That's that's what I keep on telling myself. So,
yeah, man. We've had that conversation a lot. It's just because you're new to thinking yourself as a writer, right?
Yeah,
and
100%.
not like some kind of content producing production god,
right?
Or however, but you're like, oh no, this means something. It's like, nah, just barf it out, man.
Yeah, no, that's that, exactly. It's just get it typed out and written there, and then noodle with it. That's where I think the problem is. My dad keeps on sending me like, you need to write one about this, and I'm like, okay, I will. So then I'm like, immediately, like after having that conversation with my dad, I'm like, I start writing a bunch of stuff about the next one I'm going to write about, because my dad's like, you have about 3 or 4 more movies to write about that, like, he was upset wasn't in my first book, and not upset, but just like, they're titles that, like, we have family in the movies that we've talked about as a family. So I'm like, so he's immediately like, there's your connection to your, like how you wrote the other ones there, he's thinking for me. So I'm like, okay, Dad, thanks. I still got to write it though, Anyway.
I love that.
Yeah.
You should do. Walker does this. He's got like, man, I think he's up to 7 right now, but he always has these like legit ideas for screenplays, and so he was writing it down in a book, and it was all the notes, and it was like, where's the one for this and where's the one for that,
right?
So I told him the thing about John Hughes and how he filled up composition books with all his notes.
Yeah.
And so he's like, well, I'll just fine tune that. So he gets different colored composition books now.
Oh, that's smart.
And so like yellow is
this thing,
Geographic Cure.
Yeah.
And green is Sparky's Hollywood. I actually know that one because we were talking about it today. You ever know, so I'm not a big music guy, but music does have a place in everyone's world, whether you understand what's happening or not. And my interaction with music is I always remember it in relation to what I was doing.
Oh, same.
At a cool time or something. Somebody lent me the album or some shit. And so Walker found, he's listening to all this shit on his phone, and something gets suggested to him, and I'm listening to it, and I'm like, dude, I fucking love this song. I have no idea what it is. Wait a minute. And we're driving down the street, and it's Left Hand Free by J Alt. I don't know.
Okay.
It's an indie rock group. Yeah, but if you heard it, you would remember it. You got to left hand free, Anyway, okay. I'm driving down the street, and I swear to God, drove into another human being in their giant metal car that was going really fast because I literally did this out loud. Okay, no, that's a great bass line. I love that. Driving percussion, fucking Spider-Man. He's from Queens. It's in Captain America. And Walker went, what? And I'm like, there's that scene where Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah. Black Widow
is talking to Tony Stark. She's like, oh, I got a good idea to do this. She's like, oh, it's downtown. Where's your good idea? And then they do that smash cut to Queens, and they start in the middle of that guitar riff.
Yeah.
And he's like, how do you remember that? And I'm like, because that's how I experience movies.
Right.
It's the whole fucking thing, right? And all you did was just go, hey, here's a bit from a movie that you love, but out of context. Now figure it out. I'm like, I want to play this game forever.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
But I think I'd be too good at it. Right? The reason I'm so in love with that is because I couldn't figure it out for like a long minute. Because I'm usually pretty good with my trivia, right? So anyway.
I love it.
If we had a soundtrack for today, it would be that song by that band whose name I can't keep straight.
Well, you got
okay. There you go. Hey, Tiffany Jean. She's awesome.
What else was I got? What else did I look up today? I told you about the Plastic Man thing.
Yeah,
I don't
for that.
I don't know if that's official yet, but it's the rumor mill, and it's enough. I've seen it in enough places, so we'll see if that, once it hits the real internet, then we'll know if it's legit.
At worst, you're like low 80s. You're like mid to high 80% on your rumors of
Well,
being
for the most part.
right.
I mean, I got the Robert Downey Jr. Doom thing. I know we had that.
You were like 3 months ahead of everyone else on that, and that's it was so random.
Well, that's why.
That's how we know you got it right, because like, what fucking lunacy is Steve talking about?
Yeah,
that fucking Iron Man's going to be Dr. Doom. You're out of your mind. Oh yeah, told you that.
Well, that's
end of May.
Yeah, I mean, that's why this Doomsday thing. I'm just like, where I found it and how I found it, and now that it's not there anymore, I'm like, oh, dude, someone just copied and pasted this email, put it up anonymously, and was like, fuck it, I quit. You know what I mean? Like, no, that's my favorite stuff. That's like the best.
Get my favorite tea out of the lunchroom because I'm fired now.
Yeah, exactly. I'm done. The other thing I thought was pretty crazy that I read was that the new I don't know if you're watching the new Lord of the Rings. I think you said Mimi is watching it. Maybe
she's threatening. No, we're going to end up watching it. We just have to arrange. Look at good old Karen.
Yeah, exactly.
That we're not alone. That would ruin my week, man.
100%.
I would just be walking around going, "What the fuck?"
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's cool. I actually bought the hardcover of that because my dad, who had no use for pop culture whatsoever and comics in particular, one day in a moment of weakness, I guess, said, "Hey, when I was a kid, I really liked police comics." I was like, "Oh, comics about cops?" He goes, No, police comics. Plastic Man. And I went, "What? You liked Plastic Man?" Like, and you knew that his first appearance was in some fucking thing called Police Comics? I didn't even know.
Is that what his first appearance is?
I guess.
I'm going to look that up. That's crazy. Said. I don't even know that.
So every old, bitter, grumpy guy was apparently a kid in World War II.
Police Comics #1, Plastic Man. That's crazy. 1941.
There you go. So my dad was 6. So of course he likes that stuff.
That's amazing.
So first of all, my dad being 6, that's just like, can you picture your dad being 6?
No. I've seen a picture of him 6, which is kind of like
pictures and
like no concept
actually, but
no concept. Like, no idea how that's even possible.
And as a dad, it's going the other way too, right? Like,
yeah.
Like I'll pick up Walker from football, and he's like, washing his bloody gums out with scotch and like sewing up his side with, an old rusty nail. And I'm like, dude, I remember when you were 11.
Right.
Like, wasn't that yesterday?
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Didn't I wipe your butt like a couple weeks ago?
Right. When you were 11. I probably was still doing that, right? Come on.
No, that's hysterical. No, the Lord of the Rings thing was that I read that Amazon has already internally or already internally allocated money for 5 seasons of the Ring of Power.
Oh, that's cool. All right. So maybe I'll start paying attention then.
So I was chatting about it with someone at work. Like, that's one of those shows where I need like 2 episodes to watch.
Yeah.
Because I can't just like go like, and it's like normal like I say normal television, like every week, which is, like now I have to describe like that's how TV used to be, like to like, because right. That's not how my kids, that's not how my daughters watch TV. And so, but it's just like, it's, 1 episode and then a week, but I wait for 2 because there's still portions of the story that I'm just like, you gotta, maybe when I go back and watch it and I get the final, like I'll go back and watch it and be like, oh, okay, now I get why you're doing this. But there's certain parts of the story that I'm just like, I don't know why I care, kind of.
I do know. I remember season 1, they overlap their A, B, and C stories. So like by the 3rd episode, you were like finishing up your C story and finishing your B story 2/3 of the way through your C story and starting your A story again, right? So that was cool. I like that, and I hope they keep doing that because I only cared about one of their 3 stories.
Yeah, right? No, exactly. The main girl with Sauron, whatever, right? Is that
Yeah,
the one you
I didn't even care about that. I was following the
the one with Gandalf?
it was the green elf guy who was the woodland elf.
Yes. Yeah.
And I just really liked everything about that guy because he's a character that looks like he's in something else.
Yes.
It's like it doesn't
no, I agree.
really read like that's from Lord of the Rings. And
Yeah.
so I fucking love characters like that.
Yeah, that's actually why I like the Hobbit, Halfling, whatever that portion of it is, because it's kind of like even how they had them was different. And I was I was like, listen, I mean, I guess at the end of the day, it's all gonna be about the ring and Sauron and all that stuff. But it's also like I'm okay with a little like universe building. Like you can do that for me. Like
well, isn't this? I'm not a Tolkien scholar at all, but like I pick up sort of the high points. And isn't this supposed to be taking place in a time that he like wrote 2 footnotes about or something?
Oh, it's like I don't know where they're even coming up with like what's going on.
You
exactly.
do whatever you want, and you have to
and as long as you end here, like okay.
So I'm with you. It's like build that world for us.
Yeah,
nobody has fucking said anything.
Right, like one of the episodes, they just like the Ents just showed up, and you're just like, wait, what? Like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Like,
so
anyway,
this is how we know that I'm right is because Tiffany agrees. Tiffany agrees with me so clearly. He does have the best armor. He has like kind of the best story too. I was reading the press, some interview with that actor, and he's of Cuban descent.
Oh,
he was taking it like so seriously, and I'm like, you know what? If you're gonna fucking be the guy in the show putting all this shit on, yes, that is the mental attitude I want from that actor.
Yeah. Arondir. Yeah. The 2 I really like on the show that I think have been really great is like I don't know if you remember from the Adar, who's like the damaged elf. Anyway, he's like the damaged elf. He's like the battle damaged. I think he's really good. And ironically, I've really liked the guy who plays Elrond. I think he's actually doing pretty good.
I kind of can't get over how he looks nothing like
Hugo Weaving.
So it's like it really weirds me out. It's like, no, you have a big old round Charlie Brown face. I don't see you growing up to be fucking Agent Smith, man. I'm sorry, I don't see it.
Does Hugo Weaving have a son?
Daughter, I know.
She was Harry Greenwood. Yeah, he's an actor. Because I'm pretty sure his son is an actor. That's why I was like, who? When I show you the picture, you're going to be like, oh yeah. I mean, like, couldn't they have just gotten him? Hold on, let's see if I can check.
I don't know. So doesn't that seem stunty when they do that? Like, on the one hand, I love like Tom Hanks's brother is the guy who run Forrest Run. Tom Hanks is not running through the corn in Nebraska, right? It's his brother,
right.
And Chris Evans's brother does all his like talking toy,
right? Well, no, isn't that Tom Hanks? Tom Hanks's brother does all the voice for Woody for like everything that's not the movie.
Yeah, see, I get all that.
Yeah,
but once you start going, fucking who played Hudson in Aliens? I can't remember.
Bill Paxton.
Paxton's kid plays a younger version of him in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, that kind of seems cool because it's respectful.
Yeah.
Right? Like that, like he played an integral member of that show.
Yes.
So it seems like a respectful nod to his memory to get his son, who looks exactly like him, to play a younger version of him. And that you kind of get that acting anyway, right?
Yeah.
So I even understand that one. But when you just start casting whoever, it's like, come on, man, at least make them look like they're related.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, I 100% on point. Like, yeah, it does not look like he could be related to Hugo Weaving. He has an odd looking look to him. But I don't know. I think it's not bad. But
I imagine I imagine it is good, but as you know, I have that huge blind spot I can't process. And lo, the third age that came
Oh,
into
yeah.
a
Yeah.
thing. But dude, like, the thing that is so stupid is if you just put them on a space station and go, it was the dawn of the third age of mankind, and everybody had lasers. Then I'm like, fuck yeah, I
Yep,
can keep
I'm
all
in.
that
Yep,
straight.
I'll
Right?
go. I'll go 8 seasons. Yep.
Because, no, but it's because I don't know. I'm well versed with the tropes that way,
Yeah, fair.
where like I kind of don't have to pay attention. I can leap right into it and realize whether I'm going to enjoy the story or not. But on something like this, it's like, and as we trudge through the forest in search of the thing that,
Yeah.
it's just like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I just can't do it. And I feel so bad because Mimi loves it so much.
Well, what I've always
She watches the
appreciated.
dumbest crap with me.
Well, what I've always appreciated about you and Mark is your ability to watch like everything. And I don't dip my toe into a lot of what you and Mark and Walker watched. So it's like whenever you're talking about like you rattle off comedy shows or things that and I'm just like, oh my God. And I'm like, it's and then the sad part is I then like see stuff later and then I have to tell, I'm like, oh, I just saw this. It was hysterical. And you and Mark are both like, yeah, we saw it like, yeah, we saw that 5 years ago. And I'd be like, oh yeah, yeah. But that's because I'm too busy watching Italian Dirty Harry movies,
Yeah, well, besides that, everybody has their area of expertise, right?
Yeah.
Like the coronavirus lockdown really amped up my thing because Walker was just the right age that I'm like, hey man, I really enjoy storytelling and we're stuck in the house. And I'd probably be showing you all my favorite DVDs anyway.
But yeah.
But now there's all this streaming stuff. We have access to fucking everything. So let's fucking go.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And we, you were there. We would do like 6 movies a day.
It's crazy.
We would talk about it the whole time. We would spend 12 hours.
I mean, it's pretty spectacular when you think about it because it's the closest analogy in my brain that I can give you is that's what it was like working in a video store, where it would be like you'd put in an 8-hour shift, and depending on your 8-hour shift, you probably played 4 movies. But now remember, you're playing 4 movies that kind of have to be okay to be played in the store.
Sure, yeah, you're curating somebody's experience.
Right. So you're also like, the first movie of the day is probably something in the kid realm.
Sure.
And then your lunch movie is probably something you could probably get away with because it's most of the time it's like someone running in to grab a movie at night. So you could sneak a Blues Brothers, you could sneak in like Ghostbusters, you could sneak in like Johnny Dangerously. I'm gonna think of like a million movies you could think in. And then it's like, then you were kind of like at the whim of like what you like, did you put it in Star Wars? Is it science fiction this week? Is it like, what do you do? But it's just like, I don't know. Like, that's why I love that you and Walker did that because it's like my brain is like, well, that's what I was doing in the video store when I would work in the video store is just be like, walk down the aisle and be like, what the hell is this movie? And then you'd put it on and then like 45 minutes in, you'd be like, oh my God, I think I saw a boob. Hopefully there's no one in here. Oh, there's no one in here, and then you'd keep it playing,
Well, that's the reason I brought that up is because what you said when we go off into comedy, because he would do these own little like directed areas of study. Like he was watching Simpsons on his own, like all day long when we weren't doing other things, right?
Right.
Like for real, he did 30 seasons in 8 months. Like I can't believe he didn't turn his brain into fucking jelly.
Right.
But maybe he did. It's the high functioning jelly person. I don't know. Right. But we got into this thing where when I was talking about all the different kinds of storytelling, and that you don't have to go in and try to be Joe Esterhaus and a theatrical movie guy. Right. Storytelling is in every single job that you have, right? It makes you how good you are. It's telling the story of what you're supposed to be doing directly impacts how successful you are.
For sure.
So that somehow led into that's why I'm funny. Because it doesn't if you go out on a joke, it leaves people with a positive attitude about whatever you just said, whether it's right or not. Right. So so he was like, okay, I have to study comedy now. And so we just went through like all the greats, man. And Mimi was the one who was like, hey, has he seen Raw yet? And I'm like, no, he's fucking 13 or whatever he was, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty, it says it in the title. She goes, no, I think he's ready for it. I'm like, all right, if you say so.
It's the deep end, but do it.
He loved it.
Of course.
Or like everyone walked around for like the next year going, I got no ice cream. I got no ice cream. Like that was your takeaway? Okay. I guess it's all good.
Well, I always tell them, like, a lot of this is just watching and consuming as much as you can and seeing everything, because it's just, every movie, man. Like, you go in, you hope you see something you've never seen before, and that's kind of that's why I was like, I don't know what the rabbit hole was the other day, but it was something talking about. I was reading an article about Grindhouse films, and it was talking about how all these Italian cop movies, and I was like, Italian cop movies, and I was like, I don't think I've seen any of them. And then all of a sudden it was like, I might have even said it out loud, and then would you believe that in my recommended section, like the next 3 things were like
Italian cop movies.
It's like unbelievable. It's like I mean, I know I'm bugged, but it's also like
yeah, it is sometimes pretty overt and clear.
Yeah, like
yeah,
like I just keep on, if you say Ghostbusters enough, it shows back up in your feed for some reason. I don't know. But anyway, a lot of good stuff out there.
All right, we got to wind this up because I got
to get
going today. But that was a blast,
as always.
And man, thanks to everybody who came to check us out. Tim and Kieran and Chuck and who else was here?
Yeah,
Sag, of course.
Yes, thanks for the clarity on the death of Admiral Greer. I cancer, not bullets. Why I think he got shot, I don't know. I gotta go back and watch all the Jack Ryan things and see who I'm thinking got killed.
Yeah,
that's what I'm gonna watch tonight. I think I'm gonna do Patriot Games. I like that one.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I think Jim from The Office is doing a great job on that show.
That's pretty good. I feel like each season gets a little meh, but
that's the nature of these things, right?
Yeah. Listen, as I tell you all the time, just keep on giving me more seasons so I can have one that I really hate. That's if you only give me one, I can't hate it because I only got one. But if you give me like 7, I can say, man, season 5 sucked.
Yeah, 4 was good.
Yeah. And I mean, how are you ever going to be able to write an Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. book if there's only one season,
Right.
So everything needs to be, 7 seasons. So awesome, Larry. All right. Well,
thanks everybody.
Thanks all.